All right, what's happening? Yeah, you're good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, actually, I was already going to do that. So let me pull that up. Hang on. Yvania. Yeah, I saw it, man. I listened to it. It reminded me of like a kind of a Carole King. We'll listen to it and we'll decide what that is. Hang on. Let me just put this here. Let me put this on pause. Let me go back over here. Let me turn on the phone. I got it ready. Okay. How you doing, baby?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, I'm just like, I, I go back to the show I did with, who was it? Tim Wild, I think yesterday
Yeah,
morning.
I didn't get to see that, but
Very good,
yeah,
very good show. Very connected dude.
yeah,
And I don't know what the context was of the conversation, but it was basically I've got enough on my hands handling my own stuff, you
yeah,
know?
right.
And
Totally.
so it's like it's enough. There's enough going on that you got to be on your toes all the time. We're having huge, which would be like maybe in the past monthly, we're having huge shifts, activations, elevations, whatever you want to call it, once a day.
Yeah,
Once a day. I mean, like dimensional, interdimensional, and then so to have to do that and then do what you do as a functioning human being, like whatever that may be, that's a
yeah,
lot to handle, man.
isn't
That's a
it what?
whole lot to handle. So that's kind of
Yeah,
where I'm at.
yeah. I'm hearing you.
How about you? Where are you
So
at?
hearing you. Yeah,
Let
most
me
definitely.
go ahead.
I totally resonate with what you're saying.
It is. I mean, it's the truth, man. It's like, it takes everything you got to stay on your stuff.
Yeah,
And there's no forcing, there's no controlling, there's no planning, period. Now, this is a
no,
guy, Tim Wild, who does events, seminars. He's an author, so he does stuff where he's got a plan. And he says,
yeah,
Todd, I plan a seminar or whatever 2-3 months out, and by the time it gets there, it's all blown up. Everything's changed. It's
yeah.
just
I've just found that myself trying to plan an event,
yeah,
um, which I've been guided to do, and I've got the date and I've got the information, and then it's like, okay, now I have to function while I'm still getting more information for it,
yeah.
and even it interrupts my sleep as well, and you know yeah.
It's a lot. There's a lot going on. There's a lot on the table. And first and foremost, thine own self be true. And, you can say it a lot of different ways, handle your own shift. Uh, you know, I mean, it's a lot on people. It's a lot on people. It's a lot on me. It's a lot on you. It's a lot on our friends, our brothers and sisters. And we're really, everything's getting louder. Everything
Yeah,
is getting louder. And we either focus on others or an external, or we focus on ourselves. And if we want to focus on the external, that's fine. That's not my bag. That's not my bag. My bag is me,
yeah,
my relationship, my work. And that's taken everything I got, man. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's just a lot. And I think I have that saying, go easy on yourself and go easy on others because they're going through the same thing you are. It may not look that way, but your pain is no less or more than my own pain. Your fucking experience is no more or less than my own experience. It just looks different.
yeah,
Proportionate to our life experience, whatever you've been through, and you talked about it on a previous show, whatever I've been through, and I've talked about it sometimes, it's all the same level of pain. It's still a lesson, an illusion. I mean, we're all going through the same thing. The finger pointing's got to stop. And you know what? I'm making it real easy. finger point, I just say, not my circus, not my monkeys. And I love you. And I go about my business because I got to have my head in the game.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. No time.
yeah, it's, but I was really pleased to see. I didn't even know you played the guitar. We got 19 people in the house. Let me say hi to everybody. Sasha Grace, our dear sister, Desley Lineker, another dear sister, Monica Ramirez, and Ann McKean. Jed Riverstone, Damon is in the house. Shara Domke is in the house. Chris Hall, Angel Divine, Wanda Vasquez from Puerto Rico, Valerie Peterman. She says, it's speeding up. The frequencies are coming in faster and higher. The release and purging is happening more frequently. Where are the roller skates they promised us? And Sasha says, yes, no monkeys here. So I was really, I don't get to surf that much, on the net. And I saw your song. I'm like, man, what is it with all these Australians, man? They're all
Yeah. Yep.
you and Sasha and Natalie Gauchi and Jed Riverstone. I mean, they're all like, I need to go down there and have a big event.
Yeah, and Lania. Yeah.
And who? Oh yeah, Lenier. Yeah. Jed Riverstone says he is the 100th monkey. Char Domke says I'm sure I mispronounced her name. She says I'm cutting some cords lately. Hello, Julianne Boole. Did I miss anybody? Okay, Aaron Lee, you're welcome. So yeah, it was really nice. I happened to see your video and I was like, whoa. So I listened to it as long as I could before somebody came knocking on my door. But man, it was good. So I want to hear it again. Do you want to play it now?
You can play it, yeah.
I can play it.
Yeah.
I'll play it. So you want to give us a little background on it?
Yeah, well, it's a culmination of a 20-year break in writing, I think. And so it's a snippet of what I've been through in the last few months, and yet a snippet of what I've gone through in the last 40 years, wow. If that makes sense. So it's taken a very long time to arrive for me with writing something that I'm actually happy to put out and share with others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. Right on.
That's all of me in there, in those words and experiences. So yeah.
So we're gonna check it out now. Let's see. Here we go. Yvania Bartholomeusz. I can't say it. Bartholomeusz.
Bartholomeusz, yeah.
Oh, I got it.
You did.
Yvania Bartholomeusz. This is
Child of the Sun.
Child of the Sun?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Came from the golden sun, born into creation, with love as my witness. I am human. Koro oro koro tira kara sara sina kara oro koro toro sine tira. Holy Father, Sacred Mother, I'm a child of the sun. And all the unraveling and all the unfurling through the shadows of self has led me back home. Yeah, I rode the dragons and I tamed the lions, and looked in the mirror till it shattered and fell. Yeah, I am the hero that took the fool's journey out on the front lines with nothing but love in my gun. Came to carry the threefold flame, be a pillar upon this plane, rebirth divine, human template. And all the unraveling and all the unfurling through the shadows of self just led me back home. Yeah, I rode the dragons and I tamed the lions, looked in the mirror till they shattered and fell. Yeah, I am the hero that took the fool's journey out on the front lines. Nothing but love in my gun. Yeah, I was a fallen and now I am risen, and my cup runneth over. I drink from the Holy Grail. Da 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 da. I came from the golden sun, born into creation, with love as my witness. I am human. Koro oro kora tira kara soro oro koro tina do oro koro shite kara stakara. Holy Father, Sacred Mother, I'm a child of the sun, here to co-create a new world, co-create a new world, co-create a new universe, co-create a new world. Co-create a new world. New world.
Holy shift. Jesus. Whoa, man. Wow.
Yeah, I thought I'd capture. That was the first time I'd sung it through after I just
Wow.
finished it. So yeah, I thought I'd share that.
That was
As
cool,
it was.
man. That was incredible. That was like Sasha's Diamond and Coal. Diamonds from Coal. Yeah, and then Jed the other day, all these Australians, man, they all got the thing going there. Y'all drinking the same Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
Wow.
be great to get together and have a big jam.
Yeah, if I can get the hell out of this country, I'll be there in a heartbeat.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, wow, that was really, I'm a lyricist, so I love lyrics, and the lyrics were just incredible. And you threw in some light language like Lanier did the other day, so that was super cool. Yeah.
Got to throw it all in.
Yeah.
We've got all these gifts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what's going on the front line of the apocalypse in Tasmania?
Yeah, right. I think as I wrote that song and said, it's it's time for co-creation, and I feel that really
Mm.
deeply.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the energies lately sort of leave me feeling really quite anxious, but it's not an anxious that something awful is going to happen. It's an anxious of, I was talking to Sasha this morning and I said to her, you know, it feels like I'm about to go on stage in front of the entire universe, you know, and I feel like it's the biggest gig of my life. And I don't know what I'm going to sing or what I'm going to say, but I think I've got everything I need to do it, right? But I've got these butterflies that are just here constantly. And so I'm having to breathe, just consciously breathe and get through them. And then they pass, and then I get information coming through, and
Yeah.
yet another download, another vision. And it's like, wow. I just had a little peek before I came on to speak with you, and I was actually really blown away because I wrote about a few months back. I wrote a post, and I think it was called "The Grand Gathering," and it was basically those of us that have been doing work for so many years, you know, most of our life, coming together and sitting around a fire, and we all have a chat, and then we go off in our different directions, and we find our own way through this new world. We come back to the fire, we gather, and we discuss how we're going to co-create. And I really feel that we've come back, we're gathered around the fire now, and we're working out who we're going to co-create with,
Yeah.
what we've seen out there, what we're doing out there. And it sounds a bit airy-fairy unless you can see the vision that I've got in my head, but I understand that.
I totally get it.
Yeah, a lot of people get it.
I totally get it.
So lately it's been not really shaped, no form, there's nothing there. So that tells me we're on the edge of where we've never been before, definitely. And then I had a little peek in this morning just before, and I got my first glimpse, and it just took my breath away. The first glimpse of the structures, and it's like I'm aware when I go into those realms that there's others with me, and I can even, now that I know people, that's so awesome. And yeah, so many people doing so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does that look like when you take a peek? Do you close your
Well,
eyes? Do you lay down?
it can happen at any time now. It used to be that I'd just close my eyes, but yeah, it can happen at any time. So, you know, when we went through that really, I think it was in May, we went through that stripping away, you know, during that, I think it was, I was calling it the purity.
I think that was April. I think we did a show around then. Yeah. That's when we got our asses handed to us on a platter.
Yeah, right. And then so in May, I think, went through the stripping away. So I was just laying down on the bed, and all of a sudden, labels, I could see labels coming off me. And there were words written on them. They were just sort of floating off, and they were actually being assisted off. So other beings were taking them off. And I felt that, and I was surrendering them. And there was one particular label that was actually, how it looked to me, was stitched into my skin, my physical skin, around the groin area. And I was feeling really embarrassed and vulnerable that it was having to be unstitched. It was like, oh no, have I been walking around with that on? You know, I hope no one's seen that. That sort of, it was such a weird experience. And then that kept going on. And then I sort of went into myself as a universe. I know this sounds completely
No, it
strange.
doesn't. You're with friend. You're with family here.
Yeah, I collapsed into myself as the universe, and expanded and collapsed and expanded and collapsed. So it was like what you describe as a, not an orgasm, but what do you say? It's
Soulgasm.
like
Mhm.
So this kept going on for ages, and I thought, this is beyond Kundalini awakening. This is something else. It feels like, whatever that was. And after that, it seemed to get more and more bizarre after that experience, through that purity
In what way?
thing. So where will I start after that? Yeah, so I physically had to break up with the masculine that I was partnered with, so that I could embody my divine masculine. And I didn't realize that that's what was happening at the time, but looking back, I can see it now, because I saw myself, my divine masculine self, actually coming towards me. So, in my vision, how I see. And I now know that that's what that was. That was my divine masculine aspect. So once I'd integrated that, yeah, that was, I think around that time, I actually reached out with Sasha Grace.
Yeah.
And I said to her, there's a few things, that I'm not, just little triggers that were bothering me. And so I decided to have a session with her, and we sort of worked through some issues that I had, beliefs and identities I had no idea that I was carrying. So lifted
Wow.
those, and she's amazing. If anyone is struggling with not knowing what they're running, yeah, she's a magician. Anyway, after lifting some of those blockages, I'd say, away, I had an experience where I was eyes open. I wasn't eyes closed or anything, and I was just actually talking, and gold light was poured on my head, and both sides of my brain lit up with gold, and it traveled around my entire head. I felt some gold coming out of my ears like rods, and the next minute, all these gold tentacles came out of my head and joined up into a gold grid. And I was just like, whoa, there's no words. It's like, I've got some serious gold tentacles going on, right? So
Wow.
you can't really tell many people this, because it's quite an experience.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I wonder if anyone else has got these gold tentacles. So I'm thinking, what if I should reach out to Morgan and ask her if does she know, just say maybe gold tentacles, question mark. And I was like, no, I won't do that. I'll just leave it and we'll see what happens. I wonder what this is all about. And then I got after that, probably the next day, I got a tunnel open up, and it was like from Mother, Father, Creator, and down came a golden triangle and fell into place and activated Merkaba, and I went up through the tunnel and up to, yeah, up to
Sure.
Creator,
Yeah.
yeah, and hung out. So I was in my Merkaba
Wow.
and hung out there. That was, yeah, that was an experience. And so I've since, that channel is open. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always open, and it's sort of anchored for me, the knowing that, yes, I'm definitely a pillar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my own guidance has said that, since I was little, and I now understand the energy of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah, it was.
And I bet other people have had the golden tentacles, and maybe it's
I hope so.
well, it probably it could have possibly showed up in a different way. But I
Yeah,
think the gold part of it is big.
yeah,
The gold seems to be something that's very prevalent uh, in what a lot of people are, talking about when they have these types of experiences. Gold
Yeah.
light, gold liquid.
Yeah,
Gold.
there's something, it's definitely about the gold. And I went up again. Well, I go there. I can go there anytime, but I consciously went up and I was in a space where it was all dark, and there was little gold, and they looked like sperm. They were all gold, sparkly sperm, and I was hanging out with them. And I didn't have a body, I don't think. I was just energy, and I could feel that the energy of all of them. It was such excitement, joy, because they were about to come into creation, and I was like, wow, this is just so amazing, and I'm in tears while I'm witnessing them. And then I'm standing beside Mother, Father, Creator, and it appears to me as a gold sun, sort of golden, some black, with Mother at the front, and she's got baby in gold. So everything's pretty much gold. So I'm standing there beside, and out comes a golden being, and it's just got numbers and structure. And then the words start coming. So I got words that were spoken as the structure started, from the numbers that I saw to the shapes, and they were coming down towards Earth. And at each stage, words were spoken into creation of that being. And so I was told that I would need to speak those words into creation when those beings came. And I believe that this is happening at the solstice.
I think solstice is going to be huge. It's what, June 21st?
Yeah, 21st. And so I've been shown that I'm to be a pillar for the energies coming in and to speak those words into creation. They are the words of the divine human template. And it's important. I didn't know why it was important to speak those words into creation, but what I understand now is that they're witnessed in love into creation with those words. And as you come into density, it's nice to be greeted into our creation with those words of love.
Which are,
Yeah. So it's love is the witness, right? So,
that's the word. What are the words?
oh, well, that's a whole activation. It's like a page long.
Oh, wow. So,
Well, not a page long. It's probably, I haven't got them in front of me, but it's probably, about 3/4 of a page.
so
So
can you connect to that degree whenever you want? Can you do it now? This,
I could,
this is
what would you
Soulogy. We're spontaneous, intuitive, creative, imaginative, and courageous. You don't have to, whatever resonates with you.
like? Emphasis on the courageous, yeah. But yeah, I will. I mean, for sure, do something at the end, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know where we are in our conversation, because I've
Yeah,
just been
we're good.
waffling on.
We got like 25 minutes. We're good.
Yeah, right. So I'm going to create an event for the 21st of June.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
I've been working on it the last few days, but I haven't actually posted it. But because it's a co-creational thing, and there's so many people on that date that are going to be positioned throughout the planet, and galaxy too, that are going to be working to support these new energies coming in and also out of the Earth. So I've seen there's a lot going on
Yeah.
in Middle Earth too, and other planets as well. This has been affecting, what we've been doing here has been affecting the entire
Absolutely.
galaxy/universe. And
Absolutely.
um,
No doubt.
yeah, so I've had a look at Pleiades quite a few times, because I resonate with coming from there as one of my homes, probably my main home. And a few days back went, and it was completely different.
What do you mean?
It's in creation as well.
It's in
Yeah.
creation mode.
It's in the stage where we are. It's in a new creation mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
firmly believe,
yeah.
and I could be wrong, but I firmly believe that everything's centered on this planet,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because
So what I did when I went there was I got taken into a pyramid, and when I walked in, it was, I obviously had a key or something, and it opened up with the violet light, and I see that happening not only there on that planet, but in my vision of late. The mountains, the pyramids, everything are being activated, and during the 21st, it must be one big
yeah,
shebang of activation of pyramids all
yeah,
over the place.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah. You know, I got to be careful what I say.
why? I'm not. Thank
Well,
you.
because
I'm just put my ass on the line.
I think, oh, I, I, I think what you did, what you are is just incredible. It's because it might involve somebody else, right?
Oh, okay.
Not Morgan, but so one of the things that I'm seeing from this chair, and this is my own experience, is there, people talk about the great divide and they think about everything's getting louder. People say light's over here, dark's over here, wrong's over here, right's over here, whatever, you know. But I see it like people deep into the 3D, deep into the false matrix, the illusion. It's got them by the balls, you know. And then I see this other group kind of like going out here going, okay, we're going to walk through this door. We're going to go to another portal or gateway or stargate. We don't know what's on the other side. These things are happening every single day over here. And I
Yeah.
know we're not alone. I mean, every day we're having something happen.
Yeah.
Dimensional, interdimensional. I mean, it's just like embodiment, aspects jumping into you, And I feel that the whole controlling and planning and structure and organizational stuff isn't working. It's not going to work. It's chaotic. You got to do this and you got to do that. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And on the other side, we've not had evidence, a lot of evidence that this non-physical power that we all share and that we're all expanding, we haven't had a lot of physical evidence that it works. But I think we're about to get to that point. And I think maybe the solstice
Yeah.
is
I
part of
feel
that.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally feel that.
Yeah.
As well as I've been seeing that and receiving the words free energy, and we all have that capability now, and we're all learning. We're just like one little tiny switch away from
Yeah.
really working out that toroidal field and
Yeah.
that merging of energies and what that does.
Yeah.
And hence why it's so important to be of pure heart being,
Absolutely.
and to have those
Absolutely.
sacred vows that you will do no harm, and just
Well,
such
yeah. And to take care
reverence.
of yourself.
Yeah,
And
and to take care of
honor
yourself.
yourself,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you know, because the thing is, if you're honoring yourself, you can't. It's impossible. You can't project on other people. You can't
Yeah.
create expectations for other people because it's a full-time job honoring yourself. To thine own self be true. It's a full-time fucking job, period, end of story. At this time. Now, maybe
Absolutely.
6 months ago it was different, but right now it's a full-time job. And if you're giving up your power through projection or overcompensation or overgiving or whatever,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing some things and I'm like, wow, man, I do not want to be walking down that road.
Yeah, exactly.
I do
It's
not.
the message right now that's really, really, I mean, this has got to really sink in for all of us, is don't play in that
No,
distortion.
no,
Do not
no,
play.
no,
I
do
got that
not play.
message very clearly. I went out. What did I do after I received that message? I went out a few hours later and I played in it and I got absolutely hammered.
You get, well, you're getting get fucking hammered. Yeah,
Absolutely hammered. And it's just the more we play in it, entertain it, 5G, whatever it may be. You know what I'm talking about, those things. But what about this and what about the chemtrails? Don't
they
look at
got
it. Stop
that.
talking about
They
it.
ain't got no power over us. Yeah,
Don't
that's right.
even notice it
Yeah,
because we are the witnesses that keep that in creation.
that's right.
We cannot afford to
That's
be
right.
focused on anything else other than this, what we're doing right now. We're
That's right.
right on the brink. You know, everything that I've ever written my entire life has all been about this time and it doesn't go any further. That's why I know where we are.
Of course. Yeah, it
And
fits.
that's like all the old books that were written by seers and all the ancient knowledge and you know, in their seers, they
Yeah,
saw what was coming, but it doesn't go further than this. It's
yeah, and
like
that's
we're doing
why.
it minute
Yeah,
by minute
yeah,
now.
yes, yes. Well, it's
Every now,
this is where we start to write the new templates and the
absolutely.
new
Yep.
good books. But that's why I cringe every time someone's on this show and tells me when 2027 this is going to happen and 2020 this is going to bullshit. Okay, it's going to happen if you think it's going to happen then. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, every single one of us that's getting, and we all are getting downloads. The minute we start to try to express it in human form, it gets diluted.
Yeah.
Okay? And our mind is there. I mean, our mind is part of this trip, and we're not totally disengaged from it. So, you know, I'm very aware of what I'm saying and doing because I want to. I think we are on the cusp of some supernatural stuff. You're talking about a Merkabah. You're talking about being able to be wherever you want to be with whoever you want to be. I mean, these are some things. And as long as we sit there and say, oh, well, that's going to happen in 100 years, or, oh, you know, that's super fantastical and that's not going to, no, it can. And I think the universe is supporting this. It's
Yeah.
supporting those who take those steps.
Yeah. Right
And
now,
yeah,
I feel like we've collapsed, are collapsing time and space.
yeah, yeah. One of the things that Morgan's been picking up the last few days as we're sitting here, you know, on the island, and we'll run up to the park and chill out under a tree, all these sirens going off and these different faces of chaos, is that the chaos shows itself when the timelines are collapsing,
Yeah, it
right?
does.
So, yeah,
And I can feel them when it happens. It's like this merging kind of strange energy. I could, and it, in my knowing, it's like I could be anywhere that I choose.
yeah,
I'm just one, it's like that one switch I was talking about,
yeah,
just that one switch away from, because I can feel the fluidity
yeah,
in the time, and I can feel that even though that event on the 21st is happening, it's actually happening right now.
yeah.
Yeah. Does that make any sense? Because we know
It,
that anyway, but this
yeah,
is another level
no,
of
it
that
makes
right
sense.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. How to explain that, I don't know.
Well,
But
we had Franco,
yeah,
and I'm going to get his name wrong, Dina Carlo. Uh, and now his intel lifelong like yours, and so he talks about it in somewhat technology type terms, like computer terms.
yeah,
And he says, so all these alternate timelines are playing out. They're like tests. Like, what if we do this, and what if we do
yeah.
that, and what if we do this, and what if we do that? Some of us have memory of that
Yes.
to converge to the highest and best timeline. And so
Yeah.
that makes sense to me, what you're saying. It makes total sense to me.
Yeah, and every choice, every single choice is another timeline.
Yeah.
And they're all sort of collapsing on each other into one.
Well, and this is where it's so important what we think, right?
Hi,
So
Morgan.
they said, hi, Morgan. What are you doing with that? Oh, he is. All right. Go ahead.
I think you were talking,
Sure.
right? Please.
Show
Beautiful.
him the horse our friend made. His friend made a horse. See that? See the
Wow,
eye?
awesome.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Cool.
Morgan feeds his horse in the pasture across the way.
Yeah.
And so he made it. Yeah. So, yeah. And that's why it's so important. The thoughts that we're carrying forward. I remember making a video a long time ago when I used to do the spirit walks. And of course, I just get out there and start saying whatever was coming. And I'm like, okay, we don't even really know. We really don't know. We don't know. We could actually physically just die.
Yeah,
We
right.
don't know. Or we could be eternal. And I said, and how do we know that the very thoughts that we carry forward are not what dictate what occurs? And I think that's kind of where we're at. I think, but at a higher level, at a level of how perfect can we make it? How much distortion can we leave behind before we go through the eye and the eye of the needle? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also that this is not as complicated as what we thought. So, for instance, what I was seeing the other day was a whole bunch of blue stars shaped as a fingerprint, right? And I'm like, what's that? Oh, it's a blueprint. Okay, I get that. So everything is really easy to understand, easy to see. If you get past the mind that thinks this has to be complicated, the whole process has to be complicated.
Yeah.
It really is so much easier than we thought. Yeah.
It is. And I said it. I've said it many times. When I woke up, that's what they told me. They told me, you got a job to do. Start writing.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. There's
Yeah.
one. There's one. There's a perfect order, and we're all one unique and equal soul. And then just really simple stuff. That I know self be true. Just everything is simple. The way they said it to me was the finite mind complicates things, and the infinite mind has a beautiful simplicity. So it is. It is very simple, and it hasn't been easy. That doesn't mean it's been easy.
Totally get rid of the aspect that we've been working through, the shadows. And I love the shadow because I've walked through the shadows, my whole life. And I learned to actually feel more comfortable there than I did in parts of my other life for a long time.
The shadow
those parts don't go anywhere. They become almost like the wind beneath your wings that supported you to get here and still will support you to move into where you need to be.
Yeah.
And become.
The shadows is where the shit dizzle, man. The shadows where it's at.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Deep. Yeah. And I love being deep. I love the deep.
Yeah. And then once you really take on the attitude of welcoming the shadow, like if something happens between two people, and you have friction or whatever the case is, it's a big difference when you say, okay, what's in it for me? Go by yourself. What's in it for me? What's going on here?
Yeah.
And it comes and it goes, as opposed to that resistance of, oh, it's you, I need to be,
that's not even cutting it. The energy just isn't going to support that kind of thing. Everyone's just going to get more and more dumped the more that they try to justify the way they are. That just let them play out in that
Yeah,
reality if they want
that's
to.
exactly
That's
right.
the way it goes.
That's exactly right. I brought
Just
it up.
turn the other cheek and walk on.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's exactly right. I brought this up on the previous show. You know, somebody who I've known for a long time decided to go on a video and talk shit about Morgan and me and Soulogy. And I heard about it, and I said, I'm going to just unfriend that person. Morgan's like, no, you need to like chill out. And she was right. So I did, but I sat there with it, and I thought, well, obviously, I never thought about addressing it with the person. I have no reason to. It's not my circus, not my monkey. And I thought, I love this person. I love them, but I'm going to choose to just unfriend them. And I don't want that in my universe. You know, I'm not saying it's not part of me. I'm not saying that there's not a reason it was shown to me, but it's not my deal. You know, I respect everybody's reality. You know, I mean, it's just like, I think this is a part of what's happened too, is we've done all this shadow work and we'll continue to, I'm sure. But sometimes when these things pop up, it's like telling you, okay, what decision do you want to make now? Morgan will say, it gives you an opportunity to make a new decision. So it's like, it's not
yes,
always like, oh, I didn't know this was still active in my field, or I didn't know this or that. We find those things, but it's also just, again, honoring yourself.
yeah,
Honoring
and just
yourself. You
making
don't
a different choice. And in that
making a
second,
different choice. Yeah.
you totally move to a new timeline, a new path,
Yeah. That's
and
right.
it's that easy.
Yeah. That's
Just a
right.
choice.
Yeah. So we got about 10 minutes left. Do you want to do anything? I don't want to force you to do anything. You're amazing. You're just amazing. I mean, and you know the beautiful thing is there are souls like you all over the world, and we have the honor of having quite a few on these shows
Yeah,
over these last 2 years. And
and
wow,
it's so beautiful meeting these souls, you know, and having this family, and you know, you
oh
and Morgan
man,
bringing this
it's
all together. And you know, 2 years ago, I was I don't know how I found I don't know how I found you, but I did. And you know, my whole life I'd been doing this work in the background, and just plodding along and not really feeling fulfilled, like, at all. It's just sharing my sharings to my 100 friends, you know, probably I had like maybe 100 and something friends. And you know, then yeah, you guys just opened up a huge Pandora's box, and you just have this platform for us to expand. And I've seen this when I was little, holding a handheld device and talking to people, you know,
wow,
and it meaning something, and it's being picked up elsewhere, not just
yeah,
here on this planet,
yeah.
you know. And I
You know
always
what?
wondered what
That's
it
right.
was. And when I spoke
Yeah,
to you the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is
yeah,
what these conversations have been whispered through time
yeah,
for so
yeah,
long. It's
yeah,
it's just amazing that we know the timing, we know how to find each other, we
yeah,
know
yeah.
everyone's got a key, everyone's got something, a gift
That's
that is
right.
part of this. Every single person is so unique in their piece,
Yeah,
and we all need each other's piece. So if anyone's sitting out there hiding in the background and not wanting to step forward, you know, we need you.
yeah. That's
Need your
true.
gift. Yeah,
That's true. And going
we
back to
need
what you
that.
said earlier about this being beyond Earth, you know, like you were talking about Pleiades.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you saw the show the other day, and they had oh my God, Elizabeth Ludwig, and then her friend Denise Chadwick was in the audience, so I brought her on, and they did this dual light language thing, right?
Awesome. I missed it.
Right. It's epic. So I'm
Yeah.
sitting here, and all of a sudden, I start to see all these aspects, like all like happy, and they look like cartoons. And it happened for a couple of days, but this show, and what I was getting was, I even said it on the show, I said I was getting that something about, like, in other words, the whole universe is watching, literally watching.
Yeah.
You know, I think you
Absolutely.
said at the top of the show that you felt like you were about to perform in front of the whole universe. And I remember when I was on the streets going through this shit, you know, and I remember one night the universe was like, hey, just act like the whole universe knows anything and everything you've ever done. And I'm like, oh shit, you know, like, oh my God. But then something happened. It got lifted off of me. And I was like, well, wait a minute. If they're going to know everything I've ever done, they're going to know everything anyone else ever done. So what's the big deal? You know?
Yeah,
And it was
right.
just like, but that's what I'm talking about. I think that's what you were talking about. And that's what came in on that show. They said they're like watching uh, the program because they're all learning from it. They haven't come into this dense environment, this dense realm, and learned to transform shadow and so on. They're watching this stuff. You know, they haven't experienced extreme emotions.
Mm.
We have a tremendous amount of respect in the universe.
Yeah.
I don't care what
They really
anyone
do
says.
love, I love the depth of our emotions. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, that's the most beautiful part of human beings is that depth, the vulnerability, you know, that's the gold.
Yeah. What do you feel like doing? You want to sing a song?
I have had like an hour's sleep last night, so you probably won't use my voice for singing. I could even hear it so croaky.
That's what makes it so good.
But yeah, I probably check in and see if I share some light language or
Do that. Let me answer a
whatever.
question. Let me answer a question real quick from Vicky Hunter O'Donnell.
Yeah.
The show I'm referring to, you can go to YouTube, Soulogy.One Studios, on the Soul Speaks 5D playlist, and it'll be under Elizabeth Rudwick. Or you can go to my Facebook page where you're watching this show, go to photos, go to albums, then to videos. And all the videos are in there, with the last one being the first one. So you go back about 10 videos and you'll see Elizabeth Rudwick. YouTube's probably easier. Okay. Yvania.
This is like my debut on, well, no, because I did it in my song, but yeah, sorry. See what comes through.
Sasha.
Kuro oro tina oro stikata fiesta stikata vustikata oro instakata andiraka oro or stikata stara kara churo oro stikata kara oro ina kara oro kostada tikita oro fiera oro kara stira kara oro 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 stinete tikita Takara oro oro stira itikra oro Yena koro choro karet hira oro koro inata ana oro oro stira kata oro Fiera tashtoro oro stira takara oro stira fiesta. So much love.
You just almost disappeared there.
What?
It started to get white, and then the camera froze.
Oh, yay.
I saw your galactic aspect,
Oh,
like
cool.
like a violet blue kind of shiny thing going on. It's trippy, man.
Cool.
Trippy.
Yeah.
What have you? Hmm?
I also just have we got time for like a couple of
Yeah,
minutes? So the event that I'm trying to
yeah.
um, plan is a definite co-creational event, and I will hopefully get it up. But you know, like these things we're talking about, timing and trying to plan things. So
Yeah.
I'm just getting the guidance to do it, and I'm trying to put it into practice. And even finding sentences is difficult sometimes at the moment. So yeah, I'm just in a place of complete trust and surrender that I'll be able to deliver what I need to deliver. And I'll be asking other people to come and hold space with me in what's coming through during the solstice and into the eclipse period. That's a very prominent period, that eclipse
Yeah.
period as well. And so I'll be sort of sharing details of what I'll
Well,
be
send it to
asking.
send it to us in Messenger. Send it to us
And I'll,
as soon as you have it. Send it to us.
yeah,
Send it
I
to
will.
Morgan. Don't send it to me. Send it to Morgan. I
Okay,
will.
I'll send it to
I
Morgan.
won't.
And
It'll get buried. But yeah, send it to us, and we will help you to expand awareness of it. And
also that I'm doing one-on-one sessions now for a little bit. My
yeah,
service is to all, but at the moment I'm going to open myself up for doing one-on-one sessions, and they are by donation.
okay.
And so basically it's just like having a conversation with me, with love, and yeah, just meet each other. Love always meets the other person where they're at. So yeah, I just sort of work how I work, whatever comes, comes.
Yeah,
And also I've put up a PayPal link on my profile because part of that divine masculine stepping in and becoming a whole being is that what I share is worthy of support. So yeah,
absolutely, it is.
enjoy what I
Absolutely.
share. It'll be great.
Value is an important order of the day, and equal energy exchange. And people are doing it.
Yeah.
People are doing it. That's 5D commerce, and people are doing it. But
Yeah, I mean, that fits with me, and I will continue always to share
we,
with everybody, regardless of what anyone can afford. I don't think that's
yeah,
a fair thing. I'll keep sharing what I do, um, and it's only amping up, so there'll be more and more and more.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I do. When I've done, I don't do a lot, but I would just they'll be like, how much? I'm like, just make a donation of your choice. Doesn't matter.
whatever.
Be a
It doesn't.
dollar,
Yeah,
and I like that because then you know what you get, and then you do it, right? You know, and
it
but
just supports as well. You know, spending so much time um, assisting other beautiful souls and bringing in new energies and, you know, holding the space. It's nice to be able to have that support from others as well, you know.
yeah,
So it's not just us supporting everyone else all the
yeah,
time, me supporting everyone else. And it's a nice exchange, you know, it's co-creation. So
that's right.
yeah, I'm feeling okay with that. So for the first time ever, used to be
Everybody's stepping out now.
stepping.
That's what it takes. If people stay, like you said, speak up, step
Yeah,
out. You know, value yourself, honor yourself. But I know
yeah,
self be true because it's contagious, and that's what's happening.
yeah.
And that with people like you and people that come on the show. I mean, this is people that watch the show. I mean, it's I've said it all along. It's the whole vortex, the whole entire vortex. It's no person. Doesn't matter who's on the screen. Doesn't matter. Even if you did a solstice thing and you were by yourself, the impact of that goes throughout the entire divine holy matrix grid.
It does, yeah. But it's definitely time to co-create. So we you know, when there's one gathered, that's fantastic because it has an impact. But now I think we are definitely there's a need for more people to come together in co-creation because we're doing it now. We're going into co-creation together to create this new world, to create this new galaxy, this new universe, and it's going to be such a beautiful creation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love you, Yvania.
Love you too so much. Love to everybody too.
Send us the
As
the
soon
link.
as it's done, I will. Thank you so much.
All right, you take care. See you later.